Well, the Matrix is back and so is Neo, and wouldn't you just know, there's a bajillion videos out there speculating about how he could possibly be back or if he even left at all. We know what my answer is in all of that. He's not back because this actually isn't him. This is a computer program that's designed to be a perfect copy of him that doesn't actually know it's a computer program. Now, I should point out this is not some kind of film theory thing where I've like broken down every single microsecond of the trailer and tried to figure out the plot and predict the plot of the movie and all the twists ahead of time. No. This is just me simply shooting from the lip of what I think is kind of cool. So it shouldn't be taken as anything more than just that. Thanks, Mr. Motorbike. But if I am right about this, which I'm pretty much certain I won't be, it could lead to a really huge twist and also clean up quite a few loose ends from the Matrix trilogy. Not to mention take us in a surprisingly fresh direction for any future Matrix film or any future trilogy they're trying to build. Because come on, we all know they're going to try to build a trilogy off this one if this one is received well. That's pretty much all movies are now, is just trying to start a trilogy to get people into it, and trilogies that always end up being really disappointing in the end. But I digress. We know that in the Matrix universe, it's humans versus machines, and the humans are individuals while the machines are a hive mind. We know that because the machine mainframe speaks in the plural. It says, "We don't need you. We don't need anything." However, in the Matrix, there are programs that are either outdated or have completed their purpose, and they're hiding in the Matrix to avoid returning to the source. This shows us that some of the programs created by the machine mainframe achieve individuality and try to avoid returning to the hive mind in order to preserve their newfound individuality. Someone like the Merovingi, or the Oracle, or Seraph who protects the Oracle, and of course, Smith himself. Possibly the Architect too, although I'm not too sure about that. That could just be the machine mainframe represented by the Architect. So I would submit that Neo in the Matrix Resurrections is actually a program created by the machines.
But why? Why would they ever do something like that? Every program is always created for a specific task. The Architect balances the equation, the Oracle unbalances the equation, so that every time the Oracle finds a crack in the system, the Architect is able to patch it. So together they can work to build the perfect 100% effective Matrix that nobody would wake up from. That's why Oracle is helping the Resistance in the first place, because it's the last crack left for her to exploit, and it worked. The Architect now knows how to balance the equation in a more effective way, by making peace with the Resistance and simply letting out any humans that want to escape. Now they can avoid all of that chaos associated with trying to catch the humans and catch the Resistance and having to have these big battles in the Matrix. That's all gone now, so the Oracle has done a great job at helping the Matrix to keep people asleep. So yeah, she's actually the bad guy. Hashtag supervillain.
Okay, fair enough. But that still leaves the problem of people waking up in the first place. And to study this problem in more detail, the Neo program was created. This digital recreation of Neo was made specifically so that it can awaken from the Matrix time and time again, so that the machines can study it in detail to figure out exactly why it is that he woke up, in order to further fine-tune and optimize the Matrix to get closer to that elusive 100% effectiveness rate. One thing we know from the trailer is Neo seeing a therapist who no doubt will turn out to be an agent, so the agents are carefully studying the Neo program to figure out what makes him wake up. But if Neo is one of these programs that has achieved individuality, he's not the first that's done that. Perhaps this might be setting up a type of reverse resistance, where there's digital Neo working to free all of the rogue programs from the tyranny of the machine hive mind. You know, since Matrix Revolutions ended in a peace between machines and humans, the biggest threat to the machines at balancing the equation is now these rogue programs, hiding from being deleted in the Matrix. Is the Neo program their savior? And this actually wouldn't be the first time that the franchise has kind of blurred the lines between a human and a machine. You remember when Smith took over like a human's brain in the real world? And while that was definitely my least favorite part of that movie, it does actually present with some interesting story possibilities. We know that a human mind can function in the Matrix world with a digital body, but Smith showed that it can also work the other way. You can have a digital mind operating in the real world with a fleshy body.
But how? How is something like that possible? How could an artificial mind and a human mind be interchangeable in each other's worlds like that?
Well, ruling out the likelihood that it's just stupid motorbike. Well, ruling out the likelihood that it's just bad writing, there is only one possible explanation. The machines are actually former humans. These are humans who passed through the singularity and succeeded at uploading their minds into the machine mainframe. Having no further need of their human physical bodies anymore, they made machine bodies for themselves. But the mainframe also turned them into a hive mind, meaning that they all lost their humanity and individuality. This would explain why programs can occupy human brains, because that's where they originally came from in the first place. It would also explain why some of the programs regain their individuality once they're inside the Matrix. We saw that with Smith himself. Maybe it's that tiny spark of humanity still left in there. And as many people have pointed out, the Matrix itself, in that its point is to generate electricity to power the machine's homeworld by turning human beings into batteries. However, that's a really inefficient way of producing electricity. Whatever small amounts of electricity they would harvest from the Matrix would need to be used to keep the Matrix up and running in the first place. So perhaps generating electricity isn't the real reason that they have the Matrix. I mean, they could just have a whole bunch of nuclear power plants. I mean, it's not like they need to worry about radiation or anything. So perhaps the true purpose of the Matrix is there because the Matrix don't need the energy, but because they themselves used to be humans. Perhaps deep down in their cold robotic hearts, they kind of miss being human, and the Matrix fills that hole. Or perhaps when they gave up their humanity, they also lost things like creativity, imagination, innovation. So perhaps the Matrix is their way of keeping that alive so that they can make use of it. I don't know, like I said, this is all just speculation and just stuff that I think would be cool. But either way, I am kind of interested in what this movie's going to be like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. I am Bandit, you are Bandit Incorporated, and interactive movies will be the next big thing.